Welcome fans to TNT Tuesday Night Trucks. This is KMA Racing. This is KMA TV. I am Scott Kolovic, your announcer for the evening. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are sitting back here at Pocono, running the Chevy Silverados and the Toyota Tundras. To a lot of fellers, oh no, it's Pocono. Going to be a small crowd out here tonight. Welcome fans. Only a few drivers out here tonight brave enough to tackle the tricky triangle, as they call it. Normally these drivers are used to dealing with 4 corners, but tonight they are only dealing with 3 corners. 2 long stretches, 1 short stretch on this 2.5 mile. It's pretty much like a speedway. They can get up to some real good speeds out here on that long backstretch. But they are going to have a hard time in turn 3. Turn 3 tonight, folks. That is the talk of the night here at Pocono. Track temp sitting at 75 degrees. Air temp sitting at a very nice 65 degrees. I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of our Tuesday night series, Jason Russo and Pro Automotive. Jason Russo joining us tonight in the number 14 Pro Automotive. Big shout out there to Jason Russo out here running his qualifying times. Qualifying times will be wrapping up in just about 40 seconds. Also want to give a big shout out there to our fans out there on KMA TV. Apologies for the drop on last night's broadcast. Having some internet related issues. I think I forgot to pay my cable bill. Well, I really did, but had half cable, just not enough to do what I needed to do last night. So nonetheless, right now all systems are go. So a big shout out there to the fans out there watching this tricky triangular track brought to you by Pro Automotive. Qualifying times out here will be very critical, with only looking at about 14 to 15 drivers out here tonight. It is going to be man versus machine. A few drivers joining us out here tonight is Travis Browder, Ronald Klein, and Ryan Kuhn. We've got Gary Whitmer with GW Graphics joining us, as well as Garrett Potts and Edward Bray. Qualifying times are beginning to come in. Does appear that Travis Browder might very well be out there on that front line tonight. Out there in that number 1 position, we do have, indeed, Travis Browder with a 54.503, side by side with Jason Russo in the number 14 Pro Automotive with a 54.642. Starting off in 3rd position, the number 40 of Garrett Potts with a 54.698, side by side with the number 76 of Ronald Klein with a 54.923. 5th place belonging to Mark Omtower, not quite yet ready to get into his pickup truck, side by side with Brad Ream in the number 61. Brad Ream with a 55.505 in position 7, belonging to Edward Bray, representing Black Talon Racing, side by side with the number 20 of Ryan Kuhn. Ryan Kuhn not quite ready to get into his seat either. Dave Acacia back in the number 20, Flex Volt DeWalt, position 10, belonging to Frederick Hofstetter. Position 11 belonging to David Whiteside, not able to get out on that track. Gary Whitmer Jr., position 12. Lee Ryerson near the rear of the field. Joel Guy taking the back door. Big shout out there to all the drivers out here brave enough to tackle Pocono. Travis Browder up there in front, side by side with the host for the night, Jason Russo, in the number 14 Pro Automotive. It will indeed be man against machine out here at Pocono. 3 wide action at Pocono can spell disaster. Now tonight's race is a tad bit shorter than our usual 100 lap venue. This is the Ono, it's Pocono, so we have shortened it out to 75 laps, primarily because the caution laps here at Pocono are incredibly slow and long. Another reason these drivers need to cooperate with one another. As I mentioned, 3 stretches, 3 corners. Basically imagine a unformally shaped triangle with neither of the 3 sides being the same distance and length. One long side, one kind of long side, and one short side. 3 corners, and that describes Pocono. Pace car is in. Travis Browder, side by side with Jason Russo, kicking us off for 100 laps. Number 76, Ronald Klein, second truck up on that outside, side by side with the number 40. 76 of Ronald Klein really letting out on that corner. Good job. Number 40, a little bit quicker, 61 on the inside. Garapaz floating up high. Getting in line with the number 40 of Garapaz, as does the 61 of Brad Ream. Brad Ream out here running with matching trucks there with his teammate, the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein following the number 40 of Garrett Potts around the number 14 of Jason Russo. Garrett Potts up high. Jason Russo side by side with the number 76. Jason Russo letting out of it. 76 very tight with the number 40. Already good racing out here. We have barely just began. Drivers are reaching speeds upwards of 177, 179, 180. We see 181, 181 one time as Jason Russo comes back around the number 76 of Ronald Klein, but Edward Bray in the number 66 starting to make a move. Edward Bray started 7th, currently is in position 6. But the real action on the track, folks, is this race going on between Ronald Klein and Jason Russo. The trick here at Pocono on this tricky triangular track, that's a tongue twister right there in itself. It's not man against driver. It's not driver against man. It is man against this track. As we're seeing a lot of straight line formation, taking a look at Travis Browder up there on the front line. Got a pretty good run out there on the number 40 of Garrett Potts and the number 14 of Jason Russo. Ronald Klein, Brad Ream, Edward Bray, Dave Acacia, Gary Whitmer Jr. sitting back in the number 5 in 8th position. Now Gary started 12th. He is in a very solid 8th, driving the Musselman's Chevy Silverado. Hey, big shout out there to Pat. Pat is on board with Musselman's, and Musselman's is on board with Pat. Gary Whitmer currently sitting in a very solid 8th place. Going to jump up into the cockpit here and drive around this tricky track with Gary Whitmer. And Gary's going to show us how to get her done here at Pocono. Tackler extremely important out here as he does come up to the number 20, Dave Acacia, driving the Dollar General. Gary backing it out as he does get a big run onto the number 20. Plenty of room to go up onto that outside lane. Drifting up a little bit, as does Dave. Gary trying to follow Dave down. Will we follow Dave down, or will we get up behind the number 66 of Edward Bray with Black Talon Racing? Black Talon side by side with Dave. GW Graphics hanging on very well. I was going to say hair in a biscuit, but he's actually giving him plenty of room up there watching side by side racing between David Acacia and Edward Bray. Checking in on Lee Ryerson Jr., currently in 11th place, started out here tonight in 13th position. Sporting the Angels Never Die. Lee Ryerson in the number 7 sharp-looking truck right there, brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Signs. I always love it when these drivers out here do take their time to support Pad. Lee Ryerson looking very sharp. Needs to move up about 10 spots to get up into that number 1 position. But if anybody can do it, Lee can. Lee, he is our man. Driving the Angels Never Die. Travis Browder still up there in front, leading every lap out here tonight at Pocono for an N of 75. 5 of 75. Travis Browder leading all 5 laps. Garapod's in second place, starting to get a run up there on 2. Travis Browder behind the leader at just nary half a second. Jason Russo hot on the tail at 1.3 seconds back. Garrett appears he is chasing down Travis Browder. That is correct, Becky. A lot of drivers out here tonight. A little bit tentative to tackle the tricky triangle of Pocono. Was hoping for a little bit of a huger field, but Pocono is a beast within itself. Ranks right up there with Martinsville and Richmond. But you know, these drivers are going to have to get used to it. It is on our upcoming schedule for the Monday night, Tuesday night, and Friday night series. As is Dover, as is Bristol, and as is Kentucky. A lot of tracks these drivers are not going to be very, very familiar with, but they have got to get out here and practice, practice, practice. Jason Russo sitting in a very solid third place, first, second, and third, pulling away from fourth and fifth of Brad Ream. Brad Ream and Ronald Klein in positions fourth and fifth, running for RTK Motorsports. Starting fourth, starting sixth, currently in fourth position. Caution free here on lap 7 of 75. Traffic already has completely thinned out. At this rate, we have a very strong possibility of seeing green flag pit stops. Checking back in with position 6. David Casia in the number 20. Just a stone's throw away from position 5, slowly working his way up this track, already gaining 3 spots. Started out in 9th position, currently is in 6th, dropping on back 1 more spot to Edward Bray. Edward Bray in 7th position, pulling down a fast lap of a 55.409. Edward Bray side by side with the number 5 of Gary Whitmer Jr. Gary Whitmer Jr. letting out of it. Edward Bray keeping that position. Edward Bray in 7th. Gary Whitmer Jr. sitting in a very solid 8th place. A lot different from those Talladega and Daytona super speedways. Oftentimes your fate is in someone else's hand on those speedways. Right now every driver is spaced out as they are. Their fate is in their own hands and nobody else's. Dropping back to 9th position, the number 91 of Joel Guy. Joel Guy showing some support for the United States flag. Big shout out there to Joel Guy. Also showing his support for PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Mark Omtower sitting back in position 10 in the number 37 Napa Auto Parts. Mark started 5th, currently is in 10th place, losing 10 spots. Pretty cool watching that flame drift out the side of that Chevy Silverado. Lee Ryerson and the Angels Never Die sitting back in position 11. 12th driver on that track representing Fast Lane Racing is Frederick Hofstetter. Started 10th, currently is in position 10. Huge track when you look up at it from camera 3, folks. Just a long, triangular track. So for all of these drivers do seem to be handling Pocono very well. The last Pocono race we had was 72 laps for the Oh No, It's Pocono a few months back, where Ivan Garcia was a recent winner after Drivers very seriously spread out tonight at 11 of 75. We do have a driver spinning there into pit road. I believe that may have been the number 91 of Joel Guy. Joel Guy in pit road, getting repairs. A little bit of a spin out there by Joel Guy. It happens. It's Pocono. Oh no, it's Pocono. Joel Guy will be back out on that track. Didn't appear he would have to use his backup vehicle. So that's always a plus. Joel Guy on his way out of pit road, but that definitely will send Joel Guy one lap down. As you can see, folks, as Joel Guy does merge back out on that track, there is no runway such as there is at Talladega. Just to check that chat out there, Becky and Courtney. I'm not sure what exactly is up with my ticker, but you are correct. It is not operating correctly. I'll keep you updated throughout the night. Sitting back in 7th place, we do have Gary Whitmer, Edward Ray in 8th, Mark Amtower in 9th, Lee Ryerson sitting back in 10th position. Fred Hofstetter sitting back in 11th. Joel Guy, one lap down. Those are our 12 drivers of 11 on. Lead lap, Joel Guy. First driver, one lap down. Jason Russo still trying to track down number 40 of Garrett Potts. Garrett Potts holding very solid up there in position 2. Travis Browder, our race leader. Alrighty, there we go. Got it fixed. There we go. Alright, ladies, there is your ticker. Yay! I figured something out. I might get a hold of this yet. Alright, Becky, and that's why I love you being out there on the KMA TV chat. Alrighty, we got her working now up there. Full ticker, position 10, Lee Ryerson, position 11. Frederick Hofstetter, position 12. Joel Guy. Jason Russo pulling down a fast lap of a 56.523, or 54.883. His last lap of 56.523. Tires beginning to fall off, affecting that performance. As he does come around onto that lengthier part of Pocono, we're seeing this white line develops 5 lanes of choice. Jason Russo having pretty much anywhere he can go. Hopping up to that high lane, gonna bring her down, driving deep into that corner. Ronald Klein following a very similar line. Ronald Klein taking position over the number 20 of Dave Acacia. Still holding in position 5, Brad Ream. Up a little ways in position 4, Brad Ream currently sitting behind the leader of 10 seconds back. 7 seconds with Brad Ream. Brad Ream 7 seconds behind the leader. Ronald Klein 10 seconds behind the leader. Gary Whitmer sitting at 18 seconds back, and Garrett Potts 3.6, just a stone's throw away from our race leader. Travis Browder leading 17 laps. Green flag racing here at Pocono. One driver, 1 lap down. Mark Amtower currently in 9th, 20 seconds back. Frederick Hofstetter 29 seconds back. Frederick Hofstetter racing with the number 7 of Lee Ryerson Jr. These are about as close as we have on any drivers out here tonight at Pocono. I expected it to get spread out, folks, but I did not expect it to get spread out as much as it did tonight. A lot of different talent abilities out here for Pocono, but so far all these drivers 100% large and in charge of their Chevy Silverados and Toyota Tundras. Lee Ryerson trying to match the line of the number 11, Frederick Hofstetter. Coming up onto the rear end, able to spy that pad logo. Lee Ryerson ducking down just a little bit earlier and a little bit deeper. May get the run here on the number 11. Getting back into that throttle. As I mentioned, it is driver against track. Lee Ryerson, Frederick Hofstetter seem to be very equally matched. One more time, Lee Ryerson trying to get it down to the inside. But just cannot quite get the run onto the number 11, Frederick. We'll try again as we enter. Running a last lap at the 56.37, 56.7065, 57.065. Fast lap at the 56.244. He's going to keep on trying to come down. He's driving it way deeper than Frederick, but just cannot quite. The truck is sticking. A little bit of a slide coming out. Big slide that time coming out. That cost him just about a 1/10 of a second right there. Just cannot quite get around him in those corners. Jumping up forward a little bit too, Edward Bray. Edward Bray sitting in position 8, running a very solid line out here. 167, gearing it up. We're crossing the line at 171. Coming into that first corner, 182 miles per hour, bringing her down at the apex of 140 36, 35, 32. Getting back up into it at 149, 151. We'll reach back up to the 170s. So we're talking a 40-mile-per-hour distance as these drivers do go in and out of these three corners here at Pocono. Down to 146 on that corner. Down to 141. Each of these three corners here at Pocono completely different. Each of the three stretches just a little bit different. They're all wide but varying in their length. Checking it up on our race leader. Travis Browder leading 21 laps of 75 at Pocono in the Tuesday night series, brought to you by Jason Russo and Pro Automotive. And we are caution free. Caution free, but spread out. If that caution is going to come out, it's going to come out by a self-sped. Drivers are over halfway through their fuel run. Here are Potts sitting back in position 2 in the number 40. In-car cam with Garrett Potts. A little speck up there on that horizon. That little black dot is Travis Browder. So Garrett Potts not all that far away. It can be done. Right now sitting at 4.1 seconds back from Travis. Brad Ream, 7 seconds back from Travis. About a 3-second spread between Brad and Garrett. So Brad Ream not that far back in the distance. Jason Russo hot on his heels, 2 seconds back. 9 seconds away from Travis. Jason Russo eyeing the rear end of the number 61 of Brad Ream driving for RTK Motorsports. Tonight it is all about how well you can come in and out of these corners, how much abuse you put onto your tires. Knowing when to let off, knowing when to get back in on that hammer. Will the high line work? Will the middle lane work? Do you stay middle all the way around? Do you stay up, down, all around? David Casia catching up to the rear end of Jason Russo. David Casia in fifth position. All over the rear end of Jason Russo. 9.5 seconds back of Travis Browder. David Casia going for a run onto the inside of Jason Russo. Checking in on Gary Whitmer Jr. Gary Whitmer Jr. currently in 5th position behind the leader of 13 seconds. A lot of distance between these drivers out here now, allowing us 4 long green flag runs, 0 cautions, 0 lead changes. Gary Whitmer in the Musselmans. So Gary Whitmer making a green flag scheduled pit stop. Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer Jr. He's our videographer here at KMA TV, KMA Racing, running GW Graphics. Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer and GW Graphics, making his first round of green flag pit stops in the number 5 Mulsimans. Gary Whitmer back up on track, getting back up there to speed. Here's Travis Browder in and out of pit row. Travis Browder, Garrett Potts, both drivers in and out of pit row. Travis Browder taking right sides. Garrett taking rights. Travis taking lefts. Garrett taking left sides. Travis Browder out of pit row. Garrett Potts hot on the heels of Travis Browder. Green flag pit stops. That will keep Garrett Potts in second position. Take a look at the number 61 of Brad Ream and Dave Acacia. By my calculations, these drivers should be the next ones to hit in and out of pit row. Brad Ream, Dave Acacia, third and fourth position. Klein, Jason Russo battling for position 5 and 6. Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor. If you're up there in Dudley, Massachusetts, and you're looking for a good ASA certified mechanic, look up Pro Automotive. Pro Automotive coming around the inside of the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Jason Russo getting a big run right there on the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein at 171 miles per hour as he does brake, heading around that corner.
Caution.
Caution will be out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to zoom that up. Take a look at it. Checking on our replay, see if we can figure out exactly what did happen. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. It does appear that Edward Bray misnegotiating that corner, sliding up into that wall, going for a left-hand spin. Minor front end damage. Edward Bray self-spin into the wall. Oh no, it's Pocono. It does happen. That will bunch up this field. That will be our first caution here on lap 30 of 75. That'll put Travis Browder, Garrett Potts, Brad Ream in positions 1, 2, and 3. David Acacia 4. And Jason Russo sitting back in fifth position underneath our first caution of the evening. Ronald Klein will take up position 6, Gary Whitmer position 7, Mark Amtower 8th, Edward Bray in 9th, Lee Ryerson in 10th. Frederick Hofstetter in 11th, and Joel Guy taking up the rear of the field tonight in position 12, showing on that lead lap. 12 drivers back onto that lead lap. Going to give us a chance to talk to a couple of drivers. Want to get a driver we usually do not talk much to. How about it, Joel Guy? If you got a copy. Joel Guy, have you got a copy?
I definitely do got a copy on you, Scott.
Alrighty, we're up here in the booth. Been a mighty good race. Seems like this is a bit of a long race tonight. Tell me some thoughts out here on Pocono as you are going down pit road.
Well, got in the wall, and so this is my backup pit stop. So I'm a little bit down behind in bad position, but going to try to make up some spots and keep hacking at it. This is a tricky triangle track, and it is tricky, and you can get loose real quick.
Alrighty, taking a look at the purple truck, taking a look at the hood. Does my flag offend you? I like that. Tell me about the truck. Got a copy about the truck, Joel?
It's one I painted up to have pad on and purple for pad and Nicky Cleany, and then I decided to put the flag on the top because being an ex-Marine and military, the country is and the flag means a whole heck of a lot to us.
Alrighty, copy that, and you're indeed showing your support for pad and the flag and Nicky. Good job, Joel Guy.
Thank you very much, Scott, and have a good time up in the booth.
Joel Guy sitting back in position 12th, started 14th, making his way towards the front. One more quick interview in with Fred. How about it, Fred Hofstetter? Have you got a copy, sir? Fred Hofstetter, have you got a copy? Alright, a little bit of a mic difficulty there with Fred Hofstetter. Back up to live racing. 31 of 75 in the books. Not quite to that halfway point. Drivers are lined up, double file. Mark M. Tower, position 1. Travis Browder, position 2. Garrett Potts, position 3. David Casey, position 4. And Brad Ream rounding out our top 5. Jason Russo, 6th. Gary Whitmer, 7th. Edward Bray, 8th. Lee Ryerson Jr., 9th. Ronald Klein, 10th. Fred and Joel, positions 11 and 12. One caution out here tonight. Travis Browder leading 29 laps. Mark leading 2 under caution. Friday night we will be at Talladega. Big shout out there to Blaze Pizza and Greg McClendon being our Friday night sponsor. Big shout out there to Richard Brose and Richie V's Pizza for being our Monday night sponsor, and Jason Russo for the sponsorship of our Tuesday night series. Also want to give a big shout out there to PAD, People Against Distracted Driving, KMA Racing, KMA TV fully supporting People Against Distracted Driving. First Sunday of the month, always a PAD race with KMA Racing and KMA TV.
Green flag, green flag.
We are back to Green Flag Racing. Travis Browder out there on that front line with Mark on tower. Russo all over the rear end up with number 20 of David Casey. A little bit of that chrome horn. Number 61 at the Brad Ream having to do some backing up. Garrett Potts battling hard up there with him. Number 14, Garrett Potts, as said, sliding up into that wall just a hair. Side by side up in front for the lead with Dave Casey and Travis Browder. Jason Russo watching this happen. Garrett Potts in position 4th, coming around onto the inside of Jason Russo. Now this is racing that is heating up, folks. Lap 32. They only had to get one caution out before they really started out here racing tonight. Number 61 of Brad Reed making a run onto the outside of the number 40. Brad Reed into the wall. Brad Reed into the wall. Garrett Potts spinning. Alrighty, we are going to look at this on our KMA TV replay. Now we do see, we're going to back it up right there, up there in the front, looking at Brad Ream. I do believe, does appear that Brad Ream coming up in contact with the ball, and at the same time that was happening, up there with the number 40. Now watch the green truck. As they come around, no contact. But the number 40, there was absolutely no contact right there, folks. The number 40 taking a little spin as well. Unfortunate break there for Garrett Potts. And as Garrett Potts does go for a spin into the wall and into the pathway of the number 5 of Gary Whitmer. Not much Gary Whitmer can do right there to avoid that. And then across the bow of the number 76 and the number 91. And I think Fred got a little bit of that action, though. Let's go back and take a look at that through the eyes of the number 91 of Joel Guy. Tough hit right there for Joel Guy. Back up to live action up here with Travis Browder and David Casey. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, second caution of the night, almost back to back. We're going to take a quick commercial break underneath our second caution of the night at Pocono. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, underneath our second caution of the evening. Taking a quick check on our drivers. Travis Browder, David Casey, Edward Bray, Lee Ryerson Jr., Joel Guy in 5th position, Arn Tower. Jason Russo, Hofstetter, Ronald Klein, Brad Riemann, position 10. Gary Whitmer, 1 lap down. Garrett Potts, 1 lap down. You know, unfortunate break there for both of those drivers. Garrett Potts and Gary Whitmer Jr. both having mom and their favorite women out there tonight watching them. But just breaking loose there. Garrett Potts, no rhyme or reason for it, just breaking loose. Gary Whitmer an unfortunate victim in the wrong spot at the wrong time. That is why they call it the oh no, it's Pocono. Well, I tell you what, folks, these drivers wanted me to take them off of the speedways. So we've been running a lot of different tracks, being Pocono. We ran Atlanta last night. Unfortunately, I had issues with my internet. Could not get that one broadcast. We were running Texas out there on Friday. Starting off in June, we're going to kick off a 15-week series. It'll be one track per week in all three different classifications. So on Monday, June 6th, I do believe, we're going to open up at Dover in the Xfinity class. Then we're going to jump over to the trucks at Dover on Tuesday. And then we're going to be running the Big Bad Cup cars there on Friday at Dover.
Green flag.
Pace car is in. Week 2, I do believe we're going to be heading for Pocono. And the only speedway week will be the weekend of July 4th. Looking at the number 40 of Garrett Potts. Three wide action there with Garrett Potts and Frederick and Brad Ream, and the number 37 of Mark Amtower. Lee Ryerson Jr. working his way up the field, and there is Gary Whitmer to his outside. Lee Ryerson losing several spots right there. Gary Whitmer working his way on up there to the front. Gary Whitmer coming up onto the rear end of number 5 with Edward Bray. Brad Ream. Brad Ream losing a little bit of the run. Brad Ream milking on number 76 Ronald Klein. Brad Ream, straight line formation there with Ronald Klein and Brad Ream. Garrett Potts side by side with number 61 of Brad Ream. As these drivers are rounding these corners, you can hear the Silverado and the Toyota Tundra engines on and off. Gary Potts still in it to win it. Garrett Potts, Ronald Klein, Brad Ream. Garrett Potts is one lap down. Gary Whitmer Jr. one lap down as well. Brad Ream with a big run. Brad Ream coming up on 2 and passing Edward Bray. Garrett Potts trying to get his lap the hard way, as is Gary Whitmer. To get that lap back, they have got to get up and around Travis Browder. If they can pass Travis Browder, they will be able to get that lap back. But they are one complete lap down. Garrett Potts backing off of the rear end of Edward Bray. Edward Bray with a big run one more time on to number 61 of Brad Ream. Big action with Garrett Potts, Edward Bray, on at the line. Number 76 and 61 hooked up nose and tail as they are running down the number 5, Gary Whitmer. Garrett Potts, Gary Whitmer, both drivers a lap down, so there's another race going on, folks, and that is the race between the number 5, Gary Whitmer, and the number 40 of Garrett Potts. Now, the way this does work out, these two drivers both are going to be eligible for the lucky dog if that lucky dog situation should arise with another caution. Now, assuming both of these drivers do remain unscathed, in the event of a caution, the first driver upwards in place will get it. And right now, that would be Gary. But if Gary were to sustain damage, then the lucky dog would fall to Garrett Potts. If Garrett Potts were to sustain damage as well, neither driver would be eligible for that lucky dog. Number 61 of Brad Ream on close to the rear end of Garrett Potts. Becky, that 1 lap and 2 lap down, that will fluctuate as these drivers do cross that status finish line in relationship to Travis Browder. So as our leader does cross that, depending upon the relationship on track between the lap down drivers, that will momentarily show 2 laps and then back to 1 lap. Again, a very important factor as to where that caution may fly and to where the positioning of these drivers are in relationship to the leader and the lucky dog falling. Gary Whitmer and Garrett Potts battling hard for that lucky dog position. Lap 41 up 75. QB changes 2 caution laps totaling 5 laps. Travis Browder, well, he's just Travis. Travis is just being Travis right now, and Travis is just kicking butt out here. Nowhere within the rearview mirror. Checking in on Jason Russo. Pretty good distance back in 2nd position. David Casey within a stone's throw of Jason Russo. Brad Ream, Ronald Klein in position 4th and 5th. Gary Whitmer in position 5, still battling and holding off. Garrett in the number 40. Garrett taking an outside run. Garrett getting a big run on the number 5 of Gary Whitmer. That will put Garrett Potts into that lucky dog position. Caution dependent. Gary Whitmer running lap times of a 55.7 with the fast lap of a 55.236. Garrett Potts, fast lap of the 54.660 and a fast lap of the 55.3. Twelve drivers out here running tonight at Pocono. Tricky track indeed for the Tuesday Night Truck Series. Two cautions, not a bad night at all. Did not expect these drivers to get this far spread out though. Number 61 of Brad Ream working his way around the lap traffic of Gary Whitmer Jr. Brad Ream is in position 4. No real race between Brad or Gary right now. A little bit more towards Gary's end either, because he wants to stay in front of as many leaders as possible. But Brad Ream really not worrying too much with the number 5 right now. His concern is the number 20 of David Casia. David Casia is a far cry from a stone's throw away. David Casia sitting in 2nd position. Jason Russo sitting in 3rd position, battling 4-2 with David Casey. Jason Russo started 2nd and 3rd. Fast lap of a 54.685. Very close up onto that number $20 General. Out to the rear end, going to go sideways, going to go to the side by side racing with Jason Russo. Jason Russo with a big run, side by side with David Casia. Battling hard for 2nd position, upwards of 175, back on down to 138, 145, 149, 151. Jason Russo with a clear pass on Dave Acacia, but will Dave Acacia come back and try to retake that number 2 spot? In car camera with David Acacia. David Acacia comes around side by side with Jason Russo, hard battling for position 2 and 3. Jason Russo with a bit of a bigger move out there on that outside line. David Casey on the inside, letting her out. Back in a little bit earlier on that throttle, but having to back her out as Jason Russo comes down onto the inside lane. Jason Russo with a wide sweep up to the outside, preferring the higher lane elevation. David Casey is staying more so towards the middle of this wide Pocono track. Acacia watching Jason Russo. Caution is out. In-car camera with the number 91 of Joel Guy. Going to see exactly what went wrong with Joel Guy. Going to take a ride through this corner with Joel Guy. Joel Guy coming around that corner, up into the wall, and Joel Guy going for a ride. We're going to back that up and take a look at that in our chopper camera. Looking at the number 91 of Joel Guy. Watching the momentum. Watching as Edward Bray narrowly missing the number 91 of Joel Guy. Joel Guy. Self-spin on lap 46, bringing out our third caution of the night. Joel Guy going in. Going to have to take a repair on that one, for sure. Travis Browder, Jason Ruscio, and Dave Acacia, our top three. Garrett Potts, Gary Whitmer, one lap down. Gives us a chance to talk with a couple of our drivers. How about it, Garrett Potts? You got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Mr. Scott?
All right, taking a look at you in the racing with you and Gary Whitmer Jr., both drivers one lap down. Talk to me about Pocono and that turn 3.
Well, turn 3, it's tricky. It can either make you or break you on a lap, and we've seemed to have been okay. We've almost hit the wall a couple times, but that's usually where the speed is running about. And we found some speed in 4, so it's really helping us.
All righty, copy that. Now, we do have Courtney out there on the KMA TV chat, chatting it up with the mother of Gary Whitmer. Now, you're getting that lucky dog as we speak, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, we know you were battling that hard with Gary Whitmer. Talk to us about what was on your mind and that lucky dog position you were fighting for.
Gary's a really good driver, and he runs the line so well without mistakes. He's hard to pass, and when we finally got past him, all I could think about was just getting time and cars between us. So I instantly tried to get up to the leaders, but I think we're doing pretty good. I think Gary's going to come out pretty good if we get another caution. So he's definitely got a fast car, and he's definitely driving it really well.
All right, copy that. Big shout out there to you and Courtney and the little package that you're expecting.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
How about it, Gary Whitmer? Have you got a copy?
I do, Scott. How you doing?
All right, doing good. We are in car cam with you, taking a look at the Musselmans. First of all, talk to me about Musselmans and Pad.
Musselman's is a sponsor for PAD. I actually have a sign that has "Do not text and drive" with the Musselman sponsors on it as well.
All right, copy that. We're looking at the logos there on the door jamb. OTT, Workshop Paints and Designs, designing that truck. All right, now explain to Mom and Dad Whitmer out there on that chat. You didn't get the lucky dog, but you are behind that pace car, so are you going to get the free pass?
I think I'm going to go in just to be safe.
All right, so you're not going to take advantage of that possibility of a free pass then?
No, I'll take a gamble.
Alrighty, that will put you as still one lap down. But you never know, it may work out for you at the end. Big shout out there to GW Graphics. Tell us real quick, where can I find information out about GW Graphics?
GW Graphics on YouTube and GW Graphics on Facebook.
Alrighty, copy that. Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer Jr., Mom and Dad Whitmer, rooting them on the KMA TV broadcast.
Yep, thanks, Scott.
Gary Whitmer Jr. with GW Graphics. Opting not to get that free pass, opting to stay one lap down, felt the need for tires and fuel a little bit more important than positioning. Interesting gamble right there by Gary, but he does indeed know what he's doing. Now that'll put Lee Ryerson Jr. out there on the front line on our third restart of the night. This is our third caution. 3 lead changes. 3 cautions totaling 8 laps. Lee Ryerson leading 1 lap out there on that front line. Jason Russo in position 2. How about it, Jason? Have you got a copy, sir?
I got you, Scott. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. How are we doing at the tricky triangular track?
I think we're doing pretty good. Setup's a little tight here, but working with the pit crew and crew chief, see what we can do to get this thing loosened up a little bit for the end.
Alrighty, but it's going to be an interesting restart this time by. Lee Ryerson has made his way up there to the front. It's pretty much been you and Travis and Jason and Brad. How have they been treating you out there? A lot of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, it's actually been really good, real clean racing. Hard. We're gonna top off here from fuel and see if we can't make it to the end.
All right, good luck to you, and a big shout out there to Pro Automotive in Dudley, Massachusetts.
Thank you.
Jason Russo, Pro Automotive, up there in Dudley, Massachusetts, ASA certified mechanics. Keeping Dudley, Massachusetts rolling. Lee Ryerson out there in that number 1 position. We haven't seen how Lee does out there on the front line tonight. We're going to find out. Lee Ryerson staying out. That'll put David Casia in position 2. Mark Amtower in position 3. Frederick in position 4. A complete new starting lineup, ladies and gentlemen, here at Pocono. We got Garrett Potts back there in 6th, Jason Russo in 5th, Travis Browder in 7th, Brad in 8th. So basically positions 1, 2, 3, 4 newcomers to the front row. Travis Browder leading 45 laps tonight. I had told you, ladies and gentlemen, these caution laps here at Pocono, they are a killer. Lee Ryerson driving the Angels Never Die. Big shout out there to Pad. .49 of 75. Laps at Pocono in the books as the Chevy Silverados and Toyota Tundras do tighten up in anticipation of that pace car in. And away goes Lee Ryerson with a big start. Number 76 of Ronald Klein pushing hard onto the rear end of the 18 Travis Browder trying to get him up there to speed. Side by side with Gary Whitmer. Gary Whitmer 1 lap down. 3-ride action with Garrett Potts and Fred and Travis. Travis down into that inside lane. Number 37, Mark Amtower, floating to the back. This is the 3rd time we have seen Mark float to the back. Very close contact with Garrett Potts, the monkey in the middle. Trusting Fred to stay up. Garrett Potts letting out of it. 76 comes rolling by. Fred threading that needle and Mark into the wall. Mark taking the bite out of that wall, severely dropping back as Gary Whitmer gets on a run, trying to get up there to the rear end of Edward Bray. Edward Bray looking at the rear end of Frederick Hofstetter. And Frederick trying to get up to Ronald Klein with side-by-side action with Travis Browder. And Brad Ream, Jason Russo overtaking Lee Ryerson. David Casey making his way up there to that front line and pulling away. Garrett Potts hard on those brakes to avoid contact. One more time, very close up there to Travis Browder. But here comes Ronald Klein. Going to jump into the car with Ronald Klein. This is good stuff, folks. Into the car with Brad Ream and Garrett Potts. In car cam with Ronald Klein, looking at a ton of truck. Looking at the rear end of his teammate with R2K Motorsports, Brad Ream, up in that high lane. Ronald Klein with a big run. Number 61, maybe going around. Brad Ream going around, losing positions, but keeping it alive up there with Lee Ryerson. Looking at the rear end of Edward Bray. Edward Bray onto the rear end of Ronald Klein. Frederick in front of Ronald. Autism Awareness, big shout out there too. RTK Paints and Designs. Edward Bray all over the rear end of number 76 of Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein chasing down the number 11 number 11 of Frederick, and Frederick trying to chase down Garrett. Garrett in position 4. Garrett Potts trying to make his way up there to the rear end of Jason Russo. Up in front, David Casia and Travis Browder. These two drivers up here on that 52 have a nice little private race. Travis Browder currently 2.5 seconds ahead of third place position of Jason Russo. Able to race David Casia one-on-one, mano-a-mano. Jason Russo racing Garrett Potts in that same fashion. Ronald Klein back in position 5, having his hands full with Frederick Hofstetter and Edward Bray. Edward Bray working his way up to the rear end of Frederick. Edward Bray started 7th, currently is in position 7th, letting out of it to avoid contact. Big run down the middle, down the inside lane. Edward Bray working his way around the number 11 of Frederick, now eyeing the rear end of the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Edward Bray's last lap with a 55.909. Fast lap with a 55.4.09, so about a half a lap slower, but he is getting closer to the number 5 of Ronald Klein. Still looking at 4.6 seconds back from our race leader, jumping up to Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein trying to get a run. Get caught up to Jason Russo and Garrett Potts. Ronald Klein currently in 5th position. Watching Ronald Klein working that wheel. Takes a lot to run out here at Pocono, folks. One more time up to the rear end of Jason Russo. Making a big run on the inside. Both drivers got to let out. Jason Russo a little bit stronger on that outside lane. Here comes that big run on the inside by Ronald Klein to the rear end, around to the inside. Jason Russo, Ronald Klein, side by side. Jason Russo coming back around, slight contact. Jason Russo having to fully pull back. Ronald Klein a little bit into the wall. That's going to allow Jason Russo a big run. Good hard racing here between Ronald Klein and Jason Russo. Jason Russo with a big run and swing out to that outside lane. Taking it up that outside lane against Ronald Klein. Russo taking that run on that outside lane, coming around Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein fighting back one more time. Ronald Klein, Jason Russo going back and forth. Edward Bray having his hands full with Frederick Hofstetter. At the rear end of Edward Bray is Gary Whitmer Jr. in position 12, one lap down. Ronald Klein side by side with Jason Russo, still battling hard. Tighter than a hair in a biscuit. Contact with Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein getting into the side of Jason Russo. That's going to slow Jason Russo down big time. Ronald Klein getting a little bit loosey-goosey up there, getting up there into Jason Russo. Jason Russo currently in 8th position. Checking up in front with Travis Browder. Travis Browder has got to be a lonely man right now. Travis Browder way up there in front. David Casey in 2nd. Sitting back there behind by just under a second. Garrett Potts back in 3rd position. Fourth position belonging to Frederick Hofstetter. 5th position belonging to Edward Bray. At 58 of 75 at Pocono. Gary Whitmer coming up onto the rear end of the lead lap traffic, number 76 of Ronald Klein, number 61 of Brad Ream. Brad Ream in 6th, Ronald Klein in position 7. Brad Ream battling Edward Bray for position 5. Edward Bray battling Frederick Hofstetter for position 4. So looking at the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th place positions, Brad Ream making a big move on Edward Bray. Brad Ream, plenty of room as they cross that line. Brad Ream will now try to work his way around Frederick Hofstetter. Travis Browder leading 52 laps of 59. Mark Amtower leading 2 in position 8. Lee Ryerson leading 3 in position 9, side by side actually with Brad Ream. Brad Ream taking the high side around Frederick Hofstetter. Edward Bray with a big run. Gary Whitmer with a big run. Ronald Klein with an even bigger run. Ronald Klein coming up fast onto the rear end of Edward Bray. Frederick staying low, Ed staying more so to the lower part. Ronald Klein losing that big run that he did have. Tire wear usage coming into play right there, folks. Checking back in with Ronald Klein. Not sure what happened with Ronald, but he was a little bit below speed there. Edward Bray still sitting in position 6. Couldn't quite get up there to the rear end of Frederick. Frederick still trying to get up to Brad Ream. Garrett Potts feeling a little bit lonely, but probably pretty happy. It's better to be lonely with a solid 3rd place position. David Casey watching Travis Browder get a little bit smaller and smaller. Unfortunately, Jason Russo is in pit road. Not sure if that's a scheduled green flag pit stop. It does appear that Jason Russo might be having to take it to the hauler after a little bit of contact. Checking in on Gary Whitmer Jr. Gary Whitmer Jr. 1 lap down, but in position 11. Gary Whitmer Jr. working his way up through this pack. Right now, Gary hoping for a caution as he does come around the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein in position 8. Gary Whitmer making speed onto the number 37 of Mark Amtower. Right now, Gary Whitmer is showing 2 laps down, though, back to 1 lap down as the numbers do update. Gary Whitmer hoping for 1 late caution. This is lap 62 of 75. Joel Guy riding around this 2.5 mile speedway in 10th place on the lead lap, but a lonely driver indeed. Position 9 belonging to Lee Ryerson, same situation. Ronald Klein, position 8. Ronald Klein's nearest competition is a stone's throw ahead, belonging to that of Mark Amtower. Mark Amtower racing with Gary Whitmer, but not for position. Mark Amtower, lead lap, position 7, trying to work his way upwards to Frederick Hofstetter in position 6. 5th place belonging to Edward Bray. 4th place, Brad Ream. 3rd place, Garrett Potts. Dave Acacia. Dave Acacia catching up to Travis Browder with this right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the tightest racing we have out here tonight on lap 63. It is the race for the lead. Lap 63 of 75 under green flag racing. This will all be over in 8 minutes. Travis Browder, Dave Acacia. This is pretty much coming down to Travis and Dave. Garrett Potts in 3rd position, 5 seconds back. Not sure Garrett Potts is going to be able to get up to David Casey or Travis Browder, but still, Garrett Potts, possibly a very solid 3rd place tonight. Big shout out there to Garrett Potts. David Casey working hard to find his way around Travis Browder. Travis Browder showing his Sport 4 pad, people against distracted driving. There is a very distinct possibility, folks, that David Acacia is sandbagging. There's a possibility he is like the lion in wait. And Travis Browder is the sheep, like the proverbial dog, the coon dog, and the rabbit. Travis Browder right now may be a rabbit, and Dave Acacia may be that coon dog. Dave may just be playing with Travis. We've got 10 laps to go. You got to get into his mind, folks. Dave Acacia getting a big run, could be thinking that I'm going to let Travis think I got him. I'm going to get Travis to get up on that throttle a little bit more. We're to see if Travis can burn off those tires. And if Travis does burn those tires off, David Acacia, well, he can take them in the last 3 to 4 laps. On the flip side of that, Travis could be up there like a very speedy jackrabbit with an older, worn-out coon dog on his heels. Travis could be playing games with David Acacia, and Travis could indeed be saving those tires, and Dave could be burning those tires up. It's going to be a very interesting 9 more laps. We are approaching lap 66 of 75 here at Pocono. Appreciate fans sitting out there on that KMA TV chat. Checking in on Gary Whitmer one more time. Gary Whitmer sitting back in position 11. Looking like he's got a little bit of damage up there on that front end. Such a pretty truck though. Very beautiful looking truck right there. Actually not seeing any damage on the truck. A little bit of splitter rear end damage on the wing. Looks like the wings actually come disconnected off of the 5 of Gary Whitmer. Nonetheless, big shout out there to Gary Whitmer. 1 lap down or not in position 11. I think Gary has ran an excellent race out here tonight. Travis Browder, position 1. Dave Acacia sitting in position 2. And Garrett Potts, position 3 in the Gas Monkey. Brad Ream, physical awareness, the number 61 with RTK. Edward Bray, position 5, and rounding out the top 6, Frederick Hofstetter. Joel Guy allowing the faster traffic of Travis Browder by without any issues at all. Travis Browder still being challenged by the number 20 of Dave Acacia. Dave Acacia sitting at about 0.8 back, just underneath a second. Lap 67 of 75. Can Travis Browder hang on for 8 more laps here at Pocono? Leading 61 of 68 laps. Beautiful track out here at Pocono. Huge, giant track, but a beautiful track indeed. Browder passing by pit row one more time. David Casey is still trying to track him down. David Casey remaining about a stone's throw, maybe a stone's throw and a half away. Both these drivers doing an awesome job out here tonight. All these drivers doing an awesome job, in fact. Joel got Gary Whitmer in positions 10th and 11th, one lap down. Ronald Klein currently sitting in position 9. Lee Ryerson in position 8, Mark in position 7. David Casey is still trying to work his way around number 18 of Travis Browder. Travis Browder running a very low line onto those corners. Both drivers back up to the wall, trying to get as much draft off that wall. Up to 179 miles per hour, backing him down. And here comes the big run David Casey will have. Both these drivers almost driving identical lines. I think Dave may dive down to that corner just a tad bit earlier. Every time he does get up there to the rear end of Travis, though, Travis is up, and away. Travis way low on that one there. Might be the break that Dave has been looking for. One more time, almost there, but not quite. I tell you what, it has not been for lack of trying with David Casey. Garrett Potts back there in third position, still working hard at it. David Casey will be approaching the lap traffic of Joel Guy. Do not believe that Garrett is going to get much better than a third place position, though. But I tell you what, that's okay because he started third. Currently is in third, so I'd say he's done pretty darn good right there as he does come around with a 91 lap traffic of Joel Guy. Gary Whitmer still working his way around this track. Ronald Klein riding solo in 9th. Lee Ryerson riding solo in 8th. Same situation for Mark Amtower and Frederick Hofstetter. Edward Bray in 5th position. Brad Ream sitting in 4th. Brad Ream trying to get up to Garrett Potts. That may be a possibility with 3 to go, but I'm not thinking it will. Garrett Potts in 3rd. David Casey is still trying to chase down Travis Browder. Travis Browder leading 65 of 72 out of 75, 3 to go. Only 5 lead changes, mostly done underneath caution. Three cautions tonight out here at Pocono, but what a workout, folks. I want to give Becky and Courtney a big shout out there for keeping me company up here in the KMA TV chat booth. We'll be back online Friday. running at Talladega. Now that will be some guaranteed 3-wide action there at Talladega on Friday night. Celebrating Blaze Pizza and Greg McClendon. Friday Night Lights. Lap 74 of 75 here at this 2.5 mile speedway. The tricky track in the trucks on Tuesday night. Brought to you by Pro Automotive. Travis Browder positioning 1, working his way around the lap traffic of the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein 1 lap down. Joel Guy, Lee Ryerson, Gary Whitmer 1 lap down as well. So Travis and Dave and Brad, Edward and Frederick and Garrett and Mark, 7 drivers out here tonight, will remain on the lead lap, first, second, and third place, greatly separated. Brad Ream will be bringing up that third place tonight. Good job to Brad Ream and RTK Motorsports. David Casey, a very solid position, number 2. Travis Browder bringing it home tonight at Pocono. Big shout out there too. Travis Browder. Travis Browder taking his cool down lap, doing a great job out here tonight, leading 68 laps. Approaching the rear end of the number 37 of Mark. Mark pulling down a very solid position. 7 tonight, but tonight it is all about Travis. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to get post-race interviews in with these drivers. How about it, Brad Ream? Have you got a copy, sir?
Got a copy, Scott. How are you this evening?
I'm worn out, brother, but what a race for RTK. Watching you and your partner there, Ronald Klein, you both drivers put on a good show. Unfortunately, Ronald Klein falling 1 lap down, beating up with a wall a little bit, but the number 61 bringing her home. Talk to me about your night.
Well, we were running pretty cautious early on, and then 3/4 in the run, Garrett, we got into Garrett, or Garrett got into us, and so we came back. We dropped back to the back, and we just methodically made our way up. I really enjoy this track. The track itself has a lot of the Brickyard track, a lot of characteristics to it, so I'm very familiar with that, being my home track. We don't like taking spots that way, but we got into Garrett out of turn 4 there as we got a little tight. And just like to apologize to the number 40 team, nothing personal or intentional, just hard racing.
All right, copy that. Brad Ream with the number 61. RTK, good job, Brad. Have you got a copy, Dave Acacia?
Hey, Scott, I got you.
All righty, what a run for you tonight, Dave. Talk to me about your night.
Well, we felt good in 2 and 3, and we were tight, kind of like going into 1. But the longer we ran, the better we got. You saw the distance we put on, the third place car. But the longer we ran, the better we were. But we just ran out of talent trying to track down Travis. But that's racing.
All right, copy that. Now I'm looking at the Flex Volt DeWalt number 20. Talk to me about any sponsors or any family or friends, or talk to me about the truck.
Well, whatever car I run, our family is big Matt Kenseth fans. Me and my boys, we've been rooting for him for probably 15 years. So whenever you see me running, I'm running something Matt Kenseth. My kids love it. And, he's having a rough year this year, but he'll bounce back.
Alrighty, big shout out there to you and the family. Dave Acacia started 9th, finished 2nd place. Good job, Dave.
Thank you, Scott.
But the man of the hour, I forget his name. Well, who won this race? Who?
Hey, it's Captain Gilligan. It's Gilligan.
All right, talk to me, Travis.
Hey, Scott. Awesome race. I tell you, the fuel mileage, I went 27 laps on the fuel run when we had the first green flag run. The truck was amazing tonight, and I topped off on the last caution, and my crew chief told me, he said, hey, you're a 1 lap to the good. I made it 1 lap to the good on gas, and I tell you, me and Dave had a great battle there on the last 20 laps of that race. It was awesome. And I'm going to get this win for you guys. I want to give a big shout out to John Hendrick over the top paints. I ran his M&M's pad paint tonight. Finally got a win for him on his paint.
All righty, you did a great job out there, Travis Browder. You did start tonight's race. I do believe you started up there in position 1. I do believe you finished in position 1. And I do believe you led 68 of 75. What a night for Travis Browder.
Thank you, Scott. Y'all have a good night.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Travis Browder dominating out here tonight. We are going to get those race results up and take a look at those, and we'll catch you back here on Friday for Friday Night Flights with Talladega. Thanks for hanging out. I am Scott Kolvik. This is KMA TV, and we are out of here.